Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Alright guys, before we start, just a quick disclaimer. Anything I discuss is only for educational purpose, nothing is financial advice. Alright guys, market stays hot, market stays insanely hot, everything making all-time highs. Investors are making gains on the portfolios. The market is hot for day trades, hot for swing trades, so the short squeezes are running. So insane market. So while this market is insane, you should be able to take advantage of this market, using our repeatable systems, repeatable teachings, whether you day trade, swing trade, or you invest. So before we start today's recap, before we share all our great setups that we traded today, I just want to do a quick introduction to anybody who's new to our X accounts, new to my YouTube, or new to our community. All these trade recaps, all these teachings are mostly from anything I share in the community, or I share on my X accounts as well, or anything I shared with you guys in the previous YouTube videos. We trade a repeatable system called Ripster EMA Clouds System, which is traded by thousands of traders across the world to trade consistently in the market. So system is how you trade. We trade on four pillars of success: system, setups, risk, and goals. So system is how you trade, setup is what you trade. So how do you find those setups? You find these setups to trade by doing your planning, doing a pre-market planning, doing a weekly planning. So this is our everyday morning pre-market plan that I do live on a screen share, half an hour to 40 minutes before the market open. Hours before the market open, me and my team goes through the market, finds the actionable news. We divide the news into the regular news, technical setups, index stocks, earning plays. We divide that and we make a plan. I highlighted anything which is important play. I highlighted it is as a red, as you see in the screen. So highlight those plays as red, so traders can focus on those plays. We have a support level, resistance level, and we have initial game plan. Because of our Ripster EMA Cloud is such a strong trading system, we our plan, we can follow our plan with high confidence. There's also something called day to day 3 strategy, which we trade today. Day to day 3 strategy that was amazing for Oracle, SNPS, and some other movers. So we're going to discuss our day to day 3 strategy as well. I teach that strategy as well on my YouTube's, X, and other platforms. We also trade crypto stocks. We trade crypto stocks. We make a plan for crypto stocks in the pre-market. We have our EMA Cloud systems, which helps us to trade those crypto stocks. We also trade futures. We make a plan for futures as well in the pre-market. Today was a successful day. I will show you how we traded SPY and ES futures today on the breakout, and we'll take a look at that plan. We do share levels for the ETFs, indices. So the traders who trade these names or Magnificent 7, they can use our levels that we provide in the pre-market to trade in the market. We also trade low floats. We trade IPOs. We trade a lot of that stuff as well. We have a dedicated channel for the low float stuff and for the IPOs. We have a lot of tools in the community. We have 3 option flow scanners, we have stock scanners, we have breaking news alerts, we have breaking audio news alerts, order flow screener. We have over 5-6 screen shares in the community. We have the tools we have are worth $5-6 a month, which anybody can come and utilize in the community. You don't really need anything else if you join the community. We are an educational focused community, and we are not an alert service. So anyways, I'm on the voice first few hours of the market open. I'm on the live screen all day, showing the traders the setups, the trades, teaching them live where to enter, where to exit, where we're putting our stops, how to buy, how to sell, how to short, so that those traders can find lifetime success in the trading as well. So anyways, that was a quick introduction. You can always go to my Ripster Education, my free website. A lot of information there. You can learn from there. I've been teaching for 8 years now on X. So make sure you go through that so that you can understand the system, watch the recaps, try to implement the teachings tomorrow, day after. Let's start with the recap. All right, so let's start with SPY today. So what did SPY do today? SPY was pretty strong today. Let's take a look at the chart. So SPY today made a new all-time high. It was a breakout. And what was our plan on the SPY in the pre-market? Let's take a look. Let's go to our pre-market plan. Our pre-market plan, the CPI came in today in the pre-market, which was as expected, right? So it was as expected, no surprises there. Our plan was we would long the market if VIX breaks 1460, and we will only long the market SPY over yesterday highs. SPY long over yesterday highs. Careful of the chop. Watch the semiconductors. Watch the banks. Amateur plus trend moves. These are all the concepts that I teach you. You need to know these concepts when you're trying to trade SPY. So anyways, we waited, as soon as the market opened, we waited for a bit on SPY. I told the traders, wait, and let's take a look here. SPY was much better setup today than QQQ because QQQ was more semiconductor software focused, so it was a little heavy. But SPY was amazing long trade today. So I just showed you the pre-market plan. So we opened bullish, and first candle rejected the yesterday highs. I told the traders we will be choppy as long as we reject the yesterday highs. And then right here 950, the third candle, we broke the yesterday highs and the pre-market highs. I told the traders breakout long, stops at 654. So you long here, you longing 655, your stops are 654, or you long little higher, your stops move to 654.50. So you could long the ES futures as well. So the concepts we are using here is we are using the yesterday high breakout to long it. You can buy the options, you can go ES futures, you can trade those ES futures, whatever makes sense to you. We provide those levels. If I want to talk about the futures, let's take a look here on the ES futures. You see, once this lap, these are 650, 59, 6565, those resistance were broken, it was off to races. So ES future ran from 65.60 all the way to 65.96. SPY ran from 66.55 all the way to 658 area, for a nice $3 push there. So you could trade SPY long. We held our SPY long. You can see that this is where I told the traders to long it, and we exited it later in the day once the 512. The 512 didn't really broke, but we did exit it, at the end of the day here. So you can see the timestamp guidance. I told the traders to move the stops up, and we had our 10 AM flag breakouts. This was a 10 AM flag breakout. You can see this flag, and we continue to push. Another flag, we continue to push. SPY, ES future, flawless. Here's your timestamped long idea. And of course, my traders were already long because we plan in the pre-market. Always look at your daily chart. When you look at your daily chart and you see that, SPY is strong, the banks are strong, we're breaking out of yesterday highs, you long it. You do not think twice if you traded the options on SPY. Even those lotos were really, really good today on those SPY as well. I think this is tomorrow's options. And even these ones in the morning ran like from 90 cents to the $2.20, 100% on tomorrow's calls as well. So beautiful trade, SPY QQQ. That's how you use the concepts. You use Ripster clouds to hold your trade. You use the concepts of pre-market highs, yesterday highs to identify your longs. VIX was not really that much relevant today. There was some divergence, but this is how you use. And you don't have to trade SPY QQQ every day. There are special days when you do it. Today was the day you're supposed to long SPY. And yesterday was probably sit in hand or shorted. So you need to identify those days. You don't get trend day like this every day. Remember that. All right, so next one we're going to look at is Micron. Let's take a look what was our plan on Micron. Micron was one of our top plays in the community today. Micron price target rate raised to 175 from 150 by Citibank. So Citibank is always a good bank. It's a good tier 1 analyst. Whenever they say something, the stock moves. But Micron was also a day to set up. Not only that, it was strong yesterday. So it was already our technical day to set up. And because of, the guidance by Oracle. And so the Micron, all that ecosystem, AI environment, micro benefits from that. So the plan on Micron was very simple. It's a little extended in the pre-market. Need to wait for a pullback or 150 breakout long versus 512. So as soon as the market opened, I saw the strength on the market. I saw the 150 breakout. I told the traders to take that 150 long, right? So that was the initial 150 long, and it pushed to the 156. And our stops were 147. And of course, as it starts to push higher, you see the 932 stamp, we move the stops higher. We move stops somewhere here under 150. So 150 was our first target. In the morning, we hit our 155 target. So we held in 10 AM. So once it started to pull back, I told the traders to use your stops at 150, right? So it pulls back. You see it's holding 150.67. So it's not stopping us out because stops were at 150. Then came the 512 occurred. And I told the traders it's a 512 call, hold. And then again from that 512 Ripster cloud, look at the power of Ripster clouds. We ran all the way back to 155 again. So if you missed the morning longs, this was your another entry right here. You could use the 150 stops again, and you could risk $1 and you could make $4 on this trade. That was a beautiful micron long setup in the community today. Very nicely done. You know, we planned it and we executed it. Let's go to the next one. All right, so the next one we're going to look at is ARM. So let's take a look at ARM. All right, so let's look at next one. Next one was ARM. So what was our plan on ARM? Let's take a look here. So ARM, let's take a look. ARM was our day 2 setup, highlighted as a high focus day 2 setup, 151 support, 154.50 resistance, long over yesterday highs versus 152 risk. That was the simple plan. I told the traders in the pre-market to long over yesterday highs with 152 risk. So as soon as you see it pushing, you long it. That's when I told the traders long triggered, and the target I gave the traders was 158. The stops, initial stops were, of course, you had to start with the 152 stops, but once it starts to push higher, you move your stops up towards 154 and then 158. We did go to a consolidation phase. Let's take a look here. So if you look carefully, we went to a consolidation phase right here. Right here, we went into a consolidation phase on the stock. This is, you know, so you don't panic. You still use your 512 stops. And then we broke the flag. I told the traders flag for next leg up, stops under 155. You see that? And we held our stops. You see, we held our stops. Then it gave us another flag. The first flag went into consolidation, another flag, breakout, and then boom, we hit our 158 target in the morning long from 154s. Then finally broke this 512s. We were out of it, you know, and then it failed the curls and then it dropped down later. But ARM was a beautiful long trade as well. Showed you the pre-market planning. No hindsight, no BS, live guidance. Let's go to the next. All right, so next one we're going to look at is Tesla. Tesla was a beautiful trade today, all day long. Let's take a look here. What was our plan on Tesla and how did we trade it? This was more of my voice guidance initially, and then Ghost Board, our in-house option flow trader, option flow provider, he came us and told us a lot of flow is coming in. Even I talked about the flow. So let's see what happened. So Tesla today, this was 1 hour MTF cloud. You see it's staying bullish. 1 hour MTF cloud, 1 hour MTF cloud, staying over the bullish over 1 hour MTF clouds. So what was the plan on Tesla? Tesla was our day 2 setup. 1 hour MTF reclaim, that's bullish, long if 350 holds, inside candle, watch the flow, because it was an inside candle as long as it was there. But as soon as the Tesla started to bounce over the MTF, the traders in my community caught it, and they told me that the Tesla is going. Let me show you here. So as you started to curl, you can see that Drog, everybody started to mention the curls. Zahid mentioned the curl, Drog mentioned the curl, Ramos, Gabriel, Eliche, everybody was on top of it on Tesla, right? So you see, and then they asked me, and this is your long here. Remember, over 350, you long it. You long it, first stop's 350, right? So that's what I told the traders. You can see the timestamp guidance. I mentioned the long earlier. I told the traders to long, use stops 351 now, right? So you long here at this breakout, pre-market high breakout, your stops are 351, that's typo. The 2 targets I gave was 355, 356. We hit the 356 target in half an hour. First target met, then we flagged, and I told the traders we are going for 100% ATR. It actually traded for 170% ATR, and then it breaks the flag, keeps going on. Now what you do is, if you can trade shares, you slowly scale out. You don't just cut your last position until the 512 clouds break, right? Even if you had 100 shares, you made thousands of dollars, risking few $100s, right? If you were trading options, let's look at options here. Let's look at Tesla 360 options, or let's look at 360 or 355 calls, right? They ran all the way from $3 to $13. That's a 300% gain there, right? You could always buy the further lottos with your profit. But then the Tesla came here right at this level. You see this 360 level, and it did not break it, right? So I told the trader it held 512, and I said in the next target I gave everybody 367.71. Where did I get this target from? This target came from this high, this candle from May. This is how I gave them that target, and we hit our 367.71. That's why when we got these rejections, And this is where the curl was. That's when I told the traders curl, and I said we're going to squeeze the shorts and we're going to go higher. And then we continue to push on Tesla. Amazing alert by the flow. So like I said in the pre-market, you have to watch the flow, right? So you have to watch the flow, watch the flow, watch the flow. I mentioned it in the pre-market plan. So these are the game-changing returns that you can have from these trade setups, power of the Ripster MTF clouds. You just need to stay patient. You just need to find a good entry and hold all day long and do not pike. Respect the clouds. That's how you trade. That's how you could turn your $1,000 into $5,000 in a single day if you're trading options. That's how you could risk $500 but still make $4,000 or $5,000 with your risk reward. Because if I lose, I'm losing the same amount. If I'm losing $500 every time, and I'm making $1,000, $2,000, that's a good risk reward. That's what I want to repeat, and that's how the trade on Tesla was today. And we do not short it. The noob traders short it. In my community, nobody ever gets squeezed. My free teachings for years, I don't let anybody get squeezed, because we do not short anything which is over 512 clouds, period. Our system is long MTF bounce, long over yesterday highs, long over the pre-market highs. Use these concepts. You have a consistent huge winners, small losers. That's how you will grow your trading account. All right, so let's look at the next one. Next one we're going to look at is Oracle. Oracle was our day 2 setups. You all saw yesterday we killed Oracle on the long side. I was a little late on Oracle this morning. I should have been, I was focused on other plays, but I highlighted as a top play in the community. I told the traders long over 335.36, avoid under that or avoid under yesterday lows, right? So it never really pushed over 335, 336. So it never really triggered on our long side, right? So what did it do? It was turned to the short side. You know that how much it has ran up, right? So some profit taking, that it can fade because it's breaking 3450 Ripster clouds. It can dump. So it was a short. It was a confirmed short here, confirmed short under this level. And you can see that I told the traders triggered short, good entry was there. You can still take some entry, but you have to size smaller. And I gave the target of 315 on voice initially, and then the next target I gave was MTF. So you see we hit 315 right here. Right here we hit 315 target, and later in the day it bounced. I told the traders cover it. Why was it bouncing? It was bouncing from this area, yesterday's close. Let me show you. So it was bouncing from yesterday's lows, not close. It was bouncing from there, and it was basically bouncing from the gap low. So that's the first bounce. The first bounce, it was saved, but then came the second flush. So where do you short it the next time? You short right here. It's called failed curls. Failed curls are even more bearish. This is what I teach you a lot. Failed curls are even more bearish. You short here, you put your stops here. That's exactly what Oracle did. 512 call failure, you short here, it gave you another $15-16 per share profit on that short side. That was Oracle. Beautiful trade today. All right, next one we're going to look at is AVGO. Let's look at our pre-market planning. What was the planning on AVGO? AVGO was also a day 2 setup. Watch the semi sector, bearish as long as under 370. So I told the traders as long as under 370 is bearish. So you see, as soon as you see the amateur candle reject, you short it, and you say that and even the midday provided you the short entry right here at the 512, and it did fade back all the way to the low side, stayed under that 370 level we planned. Let's go to the next one. So next one we're going to look at is Open. Open was our long today. Let's take a look. What was our plan? We got almost $1 per share profit, and we barely risked 10-20 cents on that. Let's take a look at Open. Let's go to the pre-market planning. I highlighted it as a red play. Shopify CEO joins 52-week high 730. Long if 730 can hold and push. Short under 7. Right. So what had happened? It held that 730 area, and it curled on the 512s. When it curled, this is where it became a long. I told the traders to long it. Put your stops at 780. The breakout I gave was 850 and 860. So even if, let's say, you're adding 820, you added 2,000 shares, right? What are you risking? You're risking $600-$800 by the end of the day, or even if we already made those $2,000 because we hit $995. You didn't only made $2,000, you made $3,000, right? Because it hit 995. And even you could trade the midday calls here. So here's my guidance. As we started to move up, I told the traders move the stops higher under 8. 9 was the first target. We hit the 9 target. The second target I gave was 10, and we did almost hit our 10 target, and then we flushed. We closed most of it when it broke here, but then it again, I sent a reclaim alert in the community. I always send our automated alerts. 512 reclaim from 960, 512 reclaim from 960, and then it became a long again. You could trade the long again, almost another $1 if you got in right here at the reclaim alert. Beautiful trade on open, a lot of gamma squeeze, a lot of option plays, but you can see the timestamp guidance. Ripster Clouds tells you where to long. I gave the breakout, no hindsight, no BS, beautiful trade on open. If it holds 10, it's going higher. Let's watch it tomorrow. There are many other trades in the community. I want to highlight one of our news plays alerted by our bots, which was WBD. WBD was alerted by our bot, and let's take a look here. We traded. As you see, that I bought it at 1471. That was my position there, and it ran from 1471 all the way to $17. Was a huge winner because we have all these free tools like the news bots. It helps us catch the news faster than anybody else. It's on the voice, the news bot is on breaking news. It was a beautiful trade here. Nami got a good one there, Gabby got a good one trade there, and I also got a nice trade on the news bot. Just want to highlight the power of the system, our tools we use. That was a beautiful. All right, let's look at TEM. TEM was a similar to the setup MTF bounces. Let's take a look here. What was the plan on TEM? TEM has always been our high focus hot list play. TEM has received FDA clearance, 1 hour MTF, long over 1 hour MTF. That was the plan. So as soon as I push it over the long hour MTF, you long it, you put your stops under that. The targets I gave on the TEM was all-time highs. And then I think we did hit closer to that all-time high, 19106. You trade it right away at the long, take it over 1 hour MTF, over yesterday highs, hold it long all the way to all-time highs. Was a beautiful trade as well. This was a trade with MTF Clouds, and you see that clearly we mentioned the pre-market to long over 1 hour MTF. This is the power of the MTF Clouds, guys. There are a few other plays today in the community. CRDO was a gap and crap, guidance by RGV on CRDO. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Let's see what was our plan on CRDO here. Let's go back. The plan on CRDO, all-time bullish bias, no long under previous day high 164. So once it could not push under, it could not stay over that previous day high, it became a short right here, and you could short it from there all the way to the MTF target. And you could also short the 512s, and that was a gap and crap. It was a guidance by RGV. He alerted right away, gap fill as soon as it broke, and then it broke the bear flag. And Heather was also with RGV on that trade, and we went all the way to the gap and crap to the MTF Clouds. That was a beautiful trade as well, gap and crap setup. Let's go to the next one. Let's look at some of our day 2 setups. Circle was a great day 2 winner for us. You can see that another 1 hour MTF breakout, and another one was SNPS, which was not MTF, but it was a 3450 long bounce setup. And all these setups are part of my day 2 setup strategy. You can see that we had Circle day 2 strategy, we have SNPS day 2 strategy, but this is the important thing with Circle is, right, and I did talk about Circle a few times as well, that do not ignore it, right? We all highly focus on Circle. I was on the long side in the morning on the voice, and you could see that Circle broke out of the 1 hour MTF. This is called the MTF magnet setup. From one MTF to the other MTF, that's an MTF magnet. It did break the second MTF later in the day as well. So market is just so bullish, guys. You're getting this insane amount of setups. Use the Ripster Cloud system. Keep your losers small. Definitely you're gonna have big winners, and this is amazing market to trade in. I just want to wrap up with looking at LRCX, some of our technical setups. LRCX was in our plan today, breakout watch by we know the 52-week high, neutral to bullish bias, and LRCX. These are the technical setups. This market is so hot. The technical breakouts are working. These technical breakouts, you see these breakout setups, they are working. When the breakouts are working, that's a really bullish bullish market. So that's what we got, LRCX breakout watch, and it ran all day long from that breakout 115 from 109, so that's beautiful. All right, thanks, bye.